Joe, no middle name, founder of brainSHARE. What is this culture thing I keep hearing about?
Well, Shawn, thanks for joining us here. It's awesome to see you again. And culture eats strategy for breakfast. That's Tom Peters. Now, when we talk about culture, everyone is like, what does that mean? How do you do that? How do I adjust my culture? And that's one of the key factors. Because how do you define culture, Shawn?
I don't know. I mean, I keep hearing about some of these companies that are successful, but it's a toxic culture and then it just destroys itself. And then there's lawsuits once there's money and that all these bad things happen. But I don't know. Joe, do you have a better definition of what culture actually is than, what happens when you have a toxic culture or, the culture is more bully each other, yell at each other, where they're, backstabbing, kind of like Game of Thrones.
Kind of like Game of Thrones. And actually, some companies might look and feel like Game of Thrones. And so a couple of things that I like to say is a company culture is defined by the worst behavior a leader is willing to tolerate. So think about your business, your company, and what's being tolerated there. Now, one of the other things is if you don't define your culture, it will be defined for you. And I guarantee you, you will not like it. So one of the basic foundation pieces is defining your culture and then living up to it. When you define your culture, that's how you hire and fire people. I'm going to tell you a true story. I was working for a little electronics company that was a Fortune 50 company.
That's tiny.
Yeah, it was pretty small. You can look at my LinkedIn and figure out who it is.
Well, anything higher than 5 is I don't even look at.
Well, the company, one of our company culture foundational pieces is we didn't talk bad about our competition. That was just one of our company culture things, right? Well, one of our top salespeople at an event was actually talking bad about the competition. Now, after the event, I was young in my career and I didn't understand things so well. But that employee was terminated. And I was just flabbergasted. How can we terminate one of our best salespeople for talking bad about the competition? And I didn't understand that as part of the company culture, as part of that's who we are, we don't talk bad about the competition, and that's it. That's part of who we are. Simon Sinek talks about this a little bit in Know Your Why, how, and defining that. But company culture is everything, and you must define it. Otherwise, it will get defined for you. And after you define it, it must be lived. And I mean, you have to hire and fire to that company culture that you've defined.
Wait, so Joe, are you trying to tell me, say you want this culture of friendliness where everyone's helping each other, where everyone's growing together, but this top salesperson comes along, you have the opportunity to hire them, and everyone knows it's a very toxic person that, speaks bad about everyone and will basically kill anyone to get ahead in life. Are you trying to tell me that person could alter the culture of the business?
They will alter the culture of the business because the culture is defined by the worst behavior a leader is willing to tolerate. So if you want to look at some books or some information about that, in my expert opinion, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team is one of the best books. The Advantage, which is the follow-on to that, is another great book. That talks about a smart organization versus a healthy organization. And after you read the book, I think you'll much rather have a healthy organization than a smart. It's people working together. Because teamwork is about teamwork is the only place that math doesn't work.
Interesting.
So let me explain. In teams, 1 + 1 could equal 3 or even 5. When 2 or 3 people work together, they can have the same effect as 5, 6, or even 10 people working individually. So defining the culture, living it, breathing it, basing your hiring and your firing processes on that is a key success factor to growing a business that could be sustainable, predictable, stable, consistent, and emotionally connected, which to me is a legacy business.
Wow. And those legacy businesses, I mean, they're the ones that have the value when they go out to market. But let's save that talk for another day. Joe, how do you want to wrap up this episode?
Well, if you're not sure about your culture or you want to evaluate some things, give us a call at BrainShare Coach, 408-899-6737, and we'll schedule a free consultation. If you want to reach Shawn, please feel free to give me a call and I'll connect us up wherever he may be in the world, doing deals all over the world, making and helping businesses get the most out of their companies.
Joe, thank you for that.